What's up, guys? Movie Buff. Gonna talk to you about Angels Has Fallen. This is the new installment in the Has Fallen series. You have Olympus Has Fallen, and that was actually pretty good. I liked it. And then you had like Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx kind of bite off the same premise and stuff. So you're like, okay, this is kind of overdone. And then they did London Has Fallen, which was a huge step down. I didn't care for that movie at all. And then, so I kind of went into this one with like lowered expectations. So, but, I had to give it a chance because, Gerard Butler, 300, that's my man. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll go in with, lowered expectations, give this movie a chance. So I go in, and so, automatically I was like, liked it way more. And so Gerard Butler's basically, he's like going to be in line to like be the director of the Secret Service, and he's going on this fishing trip with the president, and the president is obviously, tries to be assassinated and stuff. Gerard Butler saves him, but during that, his whole team is wiped out. So, the president's in a coma, and when Gerard Butler wakes up, he's like in cuffs. He's like, what the fuck? And they're like, bro, you're the only one that survived. Your whole team is out and the president's in a coma. That's not sketchy. That's not sketchy at all. So, they think basically it was him. Obviously, you figure out like he's been set up real quick. And so he figures out like, man, the only way I can like get out of this is to clear my name. So he basically has to bust out. He goes on this crazy, he's in this like semi truck because he gets spotted while he's trying to make a call to his wife, and he knows the CIA, the FBI is all listening in, so he knows what's going on. He knows all of their tactics. So you have what's her name? Will Smith's wife. I can't place her name, but you have her, and she's like basically like the leader of the FBI, and she's tasked to like bring him in. And there we go. We're back up and running. And so that's the whole premise of the movie. Like he's on the run from the CIA, the FBI, everybody, and their dogs, and he has to prove his name. He can't really go anywhere because they know everything about him. And this drone strike was like completely, they set him up to the point where they had his DNA, they had his hair follicle, they had everything. So it looks like, he tried to kill the president, straight up. And so, the only thing he knows to do is to go off grid. And he goes to the only person that he could think of that lives like basically completely off grid, like straight guerrilla warfare. And that was his dad. And who's played by Nick Nolte, and it's such a good character, man. I loved his dad's character because he's just this grumpy, like old, like just soured, you can tell he was in the service, and he kind of got, fucked over by the government and stuff, and he's just got a chip on his shoulder. Anyways, he's got tons of ammunition and stuff, and I mean, as you can see in the previews, like, the CIA obviously knows where he's at and stuff, so they come find him, and it's kind of like him and his dad against, America's best and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, okay. But once they kind of explain, you're like, okay, that's a little bit more believable and stuff. And a lot of this movie is tactical, the shotgun work, it's got a little bit of John Wick flavor as far as like all the guns and the different kind of tactical fighting that you see in this movie is a lot of headshots, two to the body, one to the head, that kind of stuff. So you figure out who the main villain is, and it's kind of like a twist in a way, but in another way you're like, okay, that makes sense, But it's definitely a cool ride to go on. Like I said, it's got a lot of the John Wick style gun fu in it, and it was really well done how they did. It looked believable. Like you believe these guys were grade A fucking black ops SWAT team, trained elite officer soldiers, you know, and you believe this guy was like this grizzled veteran that just lives in the wilderness, and he's like all about guerrilla warfare and stuff, and just being off the grid. And you know, everyone is just super believable in the roles, and the whole movie is him just basically trying to clear his name. And you know, of course, you know, the good guys always win, and that's not a spoiler, but just how it kind of like plays out is super cool. It was super entertaining. The graphics were good. Like I said, everything was really believable as far as the way they filmed it and how each actor was portrayed. So I mean, I liked it, man. I'm not saying I'm interested in another Has Fallen, but if we do get one, I'll definitely go into that one with more of higher expectations than I went in with this one. So yeah, man, check it out. Till next time, see you at the movies.